Hi, my name is Amanda Asproni, and I'm a clinical psychologist. I work with clients who are recovering from complex PTSD, intimacy, anorexia, problematic sexual behavior, childhood sexual abuse. This is my YouTube channel, and I created this channel in hopes of helping not just the clients that are on my caseload, but other people who are in the process of trying to heal and recover from the various different topics that I just talked about a minute ago. Today, I am going to talk about a term that we call enmeshment. I sent out a text message to a women's group that I lead, and I said, hey, I'm looking for some filming topics. Is there anything that you think would be relevant that I could talk to the viewing audience that would help them? So one of my clients suggested enmeshment. So enmeshment is a term that we use in psychology that talks about not feeling like you can be your own person that's differentiated from a spouse, your parents, your siblings, people you work with, your friends. So you feel like you have to have the same opinions, the same feelings, or if somebody else has a different opinion or different feelings or intense feelings, then you can start to feel panicky or anxious or get really upset. And it's a lack of what we call an internal boundary, where it feels like you don't have any skin and everybody else's feelings and opinions and life choices just come right inside of you and feel like they take over and you implode. And enmeshment is usually something that comes out of a family system dynamic where there are not good boundaries modeled. Boundaries can be internal, my feelings, my choices, that's something that is personal to me, and that might not mean that you and I agree, but you can be you and I can be me. Or it can also be external boundaries where somebody doesn't have privacy in their home growing up. External boundary violation, someone who is sexually abused. So boundaries can be both internal and external, but there's basically a violation of them, and it's a combination that comes together to create what we call enmeshment. So why is this important? If you struggle with enmeshment, if you come from a family system that struggles with enmeshment, then you can struggle with feeling authentic in your relationships. You can also struggle with feeling like you can't stop everybody else's feelings and their choices from impacting you. So an example of this could be your husband or your wife comes home from work, they've had a really bad day, you need to talk to them about it, and they don't act in exactly the way that you want, or they start criticizing your story or how you're feeling. And when this happens, I know that the client is struggling with enmeshment because they're like this. So in a healthy dynamic where there's internal boundaries and external boundaries that are appropriate, if my partner comes home and he's had a bad day and he needs to express himself to me, he can start to do that. And if he does it in a way that bothers me, I can say, hey, can you try to be a little bit less aggressive? Like, I'm trying to hold an internal boundary, but the way that you're coming across it feels like you're angry with me. And then he can clarify and tell me, no, this has nothing to do with you. Thank you for letting me know. I will pull back a little bit. That's him respecting the external boundary. And then I'm going to focus on trying to set a better internal boundary. And then we carry on in the conversation. He's allowed to have his feelings. We are allowed to have a back and forth conversation where we make adjustments in the moment. And we both can stay relatively grounded and relatively contained, even if the conversation isn't going 100% perfectly. We're both being authentic. No one is playing a role. You have the space to make mistakes. You have the ability to just show up as yourself and know that you're still going to be loved. You're still going to be supported. A healthy interaction compared to an enmeshed interaction can also be me being able to say to my partner, you know what? I don't have the bandwidth right now to show up for you, and I really want to, but I need to go take care of myself for a little bit. Can you give me an hour, or can you maybe call somebody else? I'm really sorry, but I have nothing, and I don't want to harm you by trying to push myself past my own limits. Now, if you are not struggling with a relationship that is coined by enmeshment, that other person may have some disappointment. They might be a little bit sad, but they can pretty quickly say, okay, I get it. I've been there. I'm really proud of you for telling me how you're feeling and for protecting me. I definitely would do A, B, and C. So enmeshment can cause a lot of panic when you're trying to pull an enmeshed dynamic apart because of a term that we call symbiosis. I like this term. When a baby is born, symbiosis is occurring. The baby does not know that it is separated from the mother. The baby basically thinks it is the mother. So when you think of a child, a little baby that cries when the mother goes away because the baby is in distress, it feels like it is losing part of itself, like it's having its leg torn apart. This is healthy. This creates security that later on can help that child who becomes an adult attach securely to a partner, other friendships, their own children, those kind of relationships. When you have enmeshment, though, the natural process of symbiosis becoming individuation, when in Erik Erikson's stages, a child starts to take steps to be their own person. It's that story, if you've ever heard it, where the child goes through the stage where they keep running over to the mother's lap and they sit on the mother's lap, and then the child bolts off and goes off to play, and then looks back and sees the mom and, okay, I'm safe, and then it runs back over to the child, and each time it goes a little bit farther. So healthy development happens when the child keeps doing that pattern. They go through their teenage years, they go through the young adult years, and then they are differentiated from their family system. They're part of their family system, but they're also their own authentic, unique person, and they still know and believe that they're loved and accepted, even if they're not a carbon copy of their family of origins beliefs or ideals or value system. So that is 7 minutes and 36 seconds on enmeshment. I hope that was helpful. If you found it helpful to you or you think it will be helpful to someone else, please subscribe and hit the like button, because that will help spread the news to other people who are also on the healing and recovery journey. Thank you for listening today, and I hope you come back soon.